Welcome back to ADHD Whiskey. My name is Matt, and today we're getting down and dirty with some Jim Beam brothers. I want to know which beam is best. These nutty buggers range from $30 to $100, and I'm going to use this Spirits Flight Kit from ADHDwhiskey to run this blind flight for sure. Oh, look at that! Vertical hanging option because it's got rubber grabbers on the back that doesn't allow them to fall out after you're done with your tasting. How super smart is that for clumsy SOBs like me's? Incredible. This Spirits Flight set comes with 4 lead-free crystal glasses for tasting, and they're laser etched on the bottom, A, B, C, D. These also have half-ounce indicators, which ADHDwhiskey says is the perfect amount for blind tastings. Thank you, ADHDwhiskey, for sponsoring this video, and thank you for sending me this super sweet, awesome, nifty, handy, and great Spirits Flight Kit. This would be perfect for somebody just getting into whiskey or somebody like me who wants to do flights every once in a while and not have to label glasses and such. I'll be right back. Whew. Just like that, I did it. Completed. Completion. Nailed it. Friggin' nailed it. The 4 products from the Jim Beam distillery that I wanted to taste blind to find out whether or not there's a $70 difference in these buggers are Old Grandad 114, Baker's 7-year single barrel, Knob Creek 120 proof single barrel, and Booker's. This Booker's batch is 2021-04. The No Strangers batch. I've got these mixed up. I don't know which one is which. Glass 1. Sweetness. Caramel. Payday candy bar. Delicious. Little milk chocolate. Some nuttiness, but not an over nutty amount of nuttiness. I do like the nose on glass number 1 for shows. I like the nose on glass 1. Let's go for a taste. Ooh. If I had to guess, I would say that's from the Jim Beam distillery. Over 100 proof. Nailed it, nailed it. Oh, pretty nut forward, pretty spicy. A bit of a spice, a bit of an ethanol blast, and like some dried peanuts. A lot of dried peanuts bulging forward. Glass number 2. I wonder how these little ADHDwhiskey tasting glasses swirl. Oh, they swirl. Well, they swirl all right. Nice. The nose on glass 2 is a little bit more muted. A little bit more muted, not as much going on here. Not as much happening on the nose of glass number 2. A lot of the same notes are coming off of here. A lot of the same profile, but in a more muted fashion. Maybe slightly sweeter and less spice on the nose of glass number 2. Ooh. Glass number 2. Glass number 2 is a bit more forward, a bit more pushy, kind of pushing you around a little bit more viscous. A nice spicy finish that's lasting. This didn't have a big ethanol push like the first glass did. A little bit more subtle on the palate, but still high proof. Little hydrogen, little oxygen. Glass 3. Glass 3 a little bit more unique here. Maybe a little bit more of a grassy note to it. A little bit more of grain, a little bit more grain forward. Like some cornmeal. Definitely a more grain forward profile on the nose of glass 3. If nuts and hay and corn got it on. Glass 3, let's see how she be. Okay. All right. Yeah. A little bit more harsh, a little bit more abrasive. This one is far more sharp than the previous 2. The Jim Beam flavors are still there. I'm still getting the nuttiness, but along with that nuttiness is like an ethanol bang, like knocking on your door. Like, hello, who is it? Do, 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 do. I said, who is it? Do, do, do. You open the door and it's like, it's me, Ethanol. And you're like, what are you even doing here? And how can you even knock? And Ethanol is like, I don't know. I do all sorts of crazy shit. Like call your ex-girlfriend at 5 a.m. Glass 3, probably my least favorite so far, just because of its sharp, abrasive, and, you know, just borderline aggressive nature. Glass 4. Oh, glass 4 is nice. Coming off of glass 3, glass 4 is providing much nicer notes of niceness. The nose on glass 4 is what I signed up for. These 4 glasses share a lot of the same properties, a lot of the same characteristics, a lot of the same, what do you call it? Smells. It's weird how the price goes up on these things for like subtle differences. It's pretty crazy. Glass 4 from this tiny aged Noor. I like that. There is a dry peanut note on here, a dry peanut note that is kind of like tingling on the back of the tongue, but there is some sweetness hovering on the sides of the mouth, laying on the sides of the palate, down the edge of your tongue is some sweetness. A little bit of caramel, like a salted caramel. Now I'm comparing 1 and 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Man, these noses are similar. The fact that there's a $70 difference between Old Grandad 114 and Booker's is crazy talk. Glass 1 is now showing a dominant sign of cinnamon. Ooh, the nose on glass 1 is starting to make me happy in my pants. The palate was just a little bit lackluster compared to glass 2. Glass 2 really jumped out of the glass and shook its ass. Before I get to my order, do I think that there's a $70 difference in these bottles? No, I really don't. Truth be told, I actually shot this video last night, and I thought the same thing. But last night, I didn't have my microphone on, which makes me want to jump out of a window from like the 103rd floor of a building that has that many floors. Second night in a row I've shot this video, and second night in a row I've realized that there's not that much of a difference in these pours. Let's start with last place. Last place was glass 3, and it is letter D. Letter D is... Letter D, Old Grandad 114. Old Grandad 114 in last place. It's a sub $30 bottle. I could tell that this was a little bit younger. It had a little bit more harshness to it, a little bit more grain forward. But for sub $30, this Old Grandad is probably the best buy on the planet. Just saying. Third place was glass 1. And glass 1 is letter C. Shit. Son of my bitch. Third place tonight was the $100 bottle of Booker's 2020-104. It had a nice little cinnamon note on the nose, but unfortunately the palate was a little bit too nutty and just did not have a great finish or mouthfeel. Wow. Booker's in third place. Yikes. In second place was glass number 4, and glass number 4 is letter A, Baker's. This 7-year, 2-month-old Baker's single barrel did not impress me when I tried it by itself. As a matter of fact, this bottle ran me like, I think it was between 70 and 80 bucks. $69.99 or $79.99 or somewhere in between, 75, 74, something like that. And when I got it home and opened it and tasted it, I was like, what the heck? Not my favorite at all. What in the world is going on? What in the world? Is this worth $70 or $80? No. I would say no. That means in first place was glass 2, which is letter B, and letter B is a Knob Creek single barrel. This is a Base Camp Wine and Spirits single barrel from Frisco, Colorado. This son of a bitch cost me $48, $47.99 I think. Store picks or just regular old single barrels, these Knob Creeks are still the best buy in bourbon. So Knob Creek came out on top. Does that surprise me? No. It doesn't surprise me one little bit, because Knob Creek is the best buy in bourbon. Knob Creek single barrels, best buy in bourbon. This Spirits Flight kit is sweet. I actually really like this Spirits Flight kit that they sent, and I have zero problem recommending it to everybody. This was a fun flight. This was something I've been meaning to do for a while. I've been meaning to do this for a while because every time I tasted a Beam product, from Old Grandad to Baker's to Booker's, I was like, these all taste a lot alike. If you made it this far in the video and you're not subscribed, shame on you. Shame on you, you son of a bitch. I still love you, but shame on you. Hit the subscribe button and we can hug it out. If you're still bored after hitting subscribe and commenting, then hit the thumbs up. Check out the Patreon for barrel picks and behind the scenes. My name is Matt, this is ADHD Whiskey, and like I always say, keep your head in the clouds, but your mind on trusting your ears. If you bend down and you think you hear your pants rip, you probably did. And even if you inspect them for a quick 5 seconds and don't notice a tear or a rip somewhere, chances are there's probably going to be a rip or tear that you can't see, but other people can see and also see your underwear. Happened to me the other day. I was wearing my Wrangler gray pants. They're stretchy and fun and Fat Man approved. Well, I just bent down to pick something up and I heard a tear. I did a quick 13-point inspection and I thought, everything's gravy, baby. I don't see nothing wrong. Fast forward a few days and I'm sitting across from my wife in a public area and she's like, I can see your underpants. Turns out they did rip.